What's going on, guys? This is Riggs. Thank you so much for tuning in to this very important ranking video. I know it's been a minute since we put out a ranking video, but what better time than right now, considering we have less than 2 weeks from when I'm making this video. Less than 2 weeks before the season ends. I can't believe how fast this season went by. And one question that I always get asked, as a lot of people watch this channel for ranking tips, for ranking videos. So a lot of people always ask, Riggs, how do I get out of this tier? I've been stuck in this tier for what seems like weeks. How do I get out of it? What do I do to continuously progress through the game? At least as far as ranking is concerned. So that's what I'm gonna be sharing with you guys in this video, is some tips and tricks, if you will, things that I do, things that my partner does. Big shout out to Brazen. We're both gonna be hitting Conquer this season. It's pretty incredible. So I want to be sharing with you guys some things that we do to constantly progress, no matter what the outcome is going to be. So the very first one, and these aren't going to be in any particular order, but the very first one that we're going to talk about is teammates. Out of anything that you take away in this video, it's going to be teammates. And what I mean by teammates is the person that you are playing with, if they are on the same page as you, if they're on the same level as you. The biggest way to increase your gameplay and to increase your skill level is to be playing with someone that has the same mindset as you. I'm sure you've all been in a game where, say, you're trying to rank and the person you're playing with is not. That can be one of the most frustrating things ever, is having different teammates all on different pages, whether it's where they want to drop, whether it's you have zero communications with them, whether it's in-game or on voice chat. The biggest tip that I can give you, that you can take away again from this video, is to play with somebody who wants to achieve the same things that you do. You will instantly not only be more satisfied with playing the game, but you're going to have more fun doing it. And when you're having more fun playing the game, it's not going to seem like a grind to log in, to jump into a match, to play, because that's when it gets into the whole mindset, the mentality. You know, that's what the grind is. Clearly it's not physical. It's all in your mind. So if you need to, I cannot stress enough, you need to get a teammate or teammates that want to do the same things that you want to do. If you want to rank, you need to have other teammates that also want to rank. If you don't want to rank, then play with people that don't mind, getting a minus 50 in a match. So again, if you take anything away from this video, for sure it's going to be to get teammates that want to have, or that have the same goals that you have, where that's where you're truly going to find out what your potential is, especially ranking up and when you're getting stuck in those tiers. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit. This one comes down to player base, is going to come down to map variety. As you're ranking up, when you're playing in Platinum and Diamond, more than likely you're hardly even going to see the same person twice when you're playing in different matches. But as you rank up, that is not the case. The player base, or the pool of players that you play against, is greatly decreased. You're going to see a lot of the same people, and a lot of the same people play the same maps all the time. If we log into a game in Sonok, pretty much guaranteed we're going to recognize whether they're in the kill feed or whether they're on the plane, like the RP rank plane list. We're going to recognize people on that map. If we go ahead and jump into a Miramar game, same thing. You're going to always see the same people that are always playing Miramar. Same thing goes for Vikendi. And of course, same thing goes for Erangel. So if you're playing a match, there's going to be squads you're going to go up against where guaranteed you're going to have the number. For whatever reason, you're going to wipe the same squad every single time. You just have their ticket. But then the other thing can happen too, where we'll go up against certain squads where it seems like no matter what we do, we cannot beat them. So this can often be very, very frustrating, especially when you run into these squads mid-game or mid to late game, where, I mean, when you're ranking up, you can get 7th place in the match and still get a -5. And you've been in the match for 25 minutes. Again, it can be very, very, very frustrating. So switching up the maps, having map variety, and even switching up the times by a couple hours of when you play, as opposed to playing at the same time, same map every single day, you can often run into this problem. And it's happened. So the goal here is for this not, when you're ranking up, is for it to not to seem like a grind. So we'll often switch it up. If we play a couple games in Sanhok, then we'll go ahead and we'll go over and play a couple games in Miramar. If we play a couple games in Miramar, we'll log into Vikindi or Erangel. We just constantly are switching up. We're seeing different people, and you'll, as opposed to playing the exact same map every single match, it's going to make ranking much, much easier. Man, I don't even, honestly, all these tips are so freaking good. I've been ranking since season 2, you guys. I got a lot of tips. And tricks to share with you guys. But no, honestly, this next one is also very, very important to walk away and take away. And that is to identify when you're having a bad day, or when you're identifying that things are just simply not going your way. It's one of the hardest things to identify, one of the hardest things to catch, and one of the hardest things to do is to walk away. What I mean by that is, there'll be times where you'll log in and bam, you'll get a minus 30, right? Then you'll play the next match, and then you're like, okay, you know, we got this. And then you're gonna get a minus 10, and you log in the next game. You have to sometimes be able to identify when you just need to say, you know what, I'm not gonna, or even if you still wanna play, don't play in the mode that you are going to be ranking in. So if I'm ranking in duos and I've just lost 40 points in the last 20 minutes, often what we'll do is we'll say, you know what, okay, let's go ahead, we'll go over here and we're gonna play squads. Or you know what, we're gonna go over here and we're gonna play solos. We're gonna play arcade. Now we have payload available. So there's a lot of options that you can do to identify that, you know what, it's just, this is just not working out. If you've had a bad day, like in real life, often that will reflect into your gameplay. It's something that you as an individual are going to have to identify. So honestly guys, this tip alone could literally save you, I mean, countless hours of ranking and pushing and frustration and grinding. So you have to identify, if you're having a bad day, it's okay. Just put it down, walk away. It'll always be back. It'll always be there. So, okay, here's the next one. These are amazing tips. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This next one is very, very important for those of you playing duos, for those of you playing squads. It's going to come down to reflecting after each match. If something didn't go your way, being able to identify what happened, as opposed to having an argument, have a solution to what happened. Did you push when you weren't supposed to? Did you push by yourself? Did you drop late and you end up landing late when you shouldn't have, as opposed to deviating, going somewhere else? Did you hot drop when you probably shouldn't have? Were you playing with your regular partner? Did you just straight up potato something? One thing you want to stay away from, again, when you're playing duos or squads, is the blame game. Once you start pointing fingers and start doing all these things, as opposed to having maybe constructive criticism or looking at something from a different angle and say, okay, I didn't see it that way. I didn't know you were over here. So what can we do? What can we do going forward to fix what just happened? You know, sometimes you're just going to potato. Sometimes you're going to lose that close quarter combat engagement. And sometimes you have to say, all right, you know what? They beat me. And then you just have to walk away from it. Or did something really bad happen that should be discussed, something that you both, or that your entire squad can grow from and learn from, and say, okay, you know what? Instead of flanking right when we're in this compound, when we had this knock, we should have pushed this way. Just basically communication. Talking it out. It's going to save you pent up frustration. If something bad doesn't, or if something doesn't go your way in game and it ends up, you know, costing you points and ends up killing your squad and no one's talking about it, that can just bottle up and end up being that much worse later down the road, as opposed to talking about it, being open to say, hey, look, instead of doing this, let's do that. And also not only being able to give criticism, but also being able to receive it. Sometimes you have to put, you have to set egos and differences aside and just say, okay, we're going to do it this way. All right, we got this. So yeah, that is also going to be a huge tip, you guys. At the end of a match, if you lose a bunch of points, to be able to just talk it out and figure out what went wrong, and you will see, this is how you're going to grow as a player, not only as a player as an individual, but a player that's a better player in a duo or in a squad. So I really hope you guys enjoyed all of the tips and tricks, if you will, from this video. One thing that I've always done since I've been playing this game, or not season 1, no one was really pushing season 1, but since season 2, I've been ranking up. I've always wanted to achieve the highest level that the game has to offer, the highest tier, which is Conquer. And nothing could be more frustrating than when you're losing a bunch of points and you're looking around, you're looking at your career results, and your last 10 matches have all been in the same tier. And your 10th match versus the one you just played, there's like a 0-point difference. It can be very frustrating, and it can seem like ranking is that much more of a daunting task than it already is. But I'm telling you, if you guys pay attention, you guys listen, and you implement the things that I have laid out for you in this video, you will find yourself having more fun playing the game. You will not mind logging in. Sometimes when you're ranking, you don't even want to log into the game because it can be so frustrating. But you guys listen to what I said in this video. You'll have more fun playing. You will see your skill level and gameplay increase, and you will achieve that tier that you've always wanted to achieve. Leave it a like, drop a sub if you're new here, share this video with your friends. Hopefully you found it helpful. But until the next video, you guys, this has been Riggs from Riggs Gaming. Hopefully you enjoyed.